You brag about it. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I run on caffeine and willpower. I only need 6 hours. You wear exhaustion like a medal. Proof you're hustling hard enough, answering emails at midnight and waking at 5 for a workout, and powering through the afternoon with energy drinks. And here's the paradox that will make you want to pull the covers over your head and never come out. The less you sleep, the worse you are at everything. Your work and your relationships and your health and your memory and your creativity all crumbling, while the cruelest part is that sleep deprivation tricks you into thinking you're fine. The more tired you grow, the less able you are to perceive your own impairment. So you stumble through a fog, making mistakes you'll have to fix tomorrow when you're even more exhausted. And the data is horrifying. The average American sleeping barely more than 6.5 hours. 40% of adults under 7, chronic deprivation, hiking heart disease risk nearly 50%, and making a single short night impair your driving as much as being legally drunk, and yet we treat sleep as optional, as weakness, as something to overcome. But the neuroscience is non-negotiable. During sleep, your brain clears metabolic waste and consolidates memory and regulates emotion and repairs neural connections. Without enough, your prefrontal cortex starts to fail, you lose impulse control and decision-making and creative insight and become dumber and angrier and more anxious, with no idea it's happening because the part of your brain that would notice is the part that's broken. And the American twist is, we've turned this into a status symbol, I'm so busy, meaning I matter. The entrepreneur on 4 hours a folk hero, the all-nighter student, committed, the never-resting parent selfless, a culture where naps are for children and the ideal human is a machine that never powers down. But machines that never power down break. You are not a machine. You are an animal that evolved to sleep for a third of its life and fighting that isn't. Strength, it's a slow suicide. Now here's the reversal that only fully settles the second time you let yourself rest long enough to hear it. The most productive, creative, successful Americans are not the ones who sleep the least. They're the ones who protect sleep like sacred ritual, understanding it isn't wasted time but the foundation of all waking performance. The great musician and athlete and thinker all sleeping deeply because consolidation happens in the dark, and insights emerge after rest and breakthroughs come, not from grinding, but from stepping away and letting the unconscious work. And the people who escape the trap prioritize 8 hours, not from laziness, but from doing the math that an extra hour of exhausted work produces less than a well-rested half hour, plus it costs you your health. Let me tell you about Derek, a startup founder who bragged about 4 hours and drank coffee all day and snapped at his team and made impulsive decisions and couldn't understand why his company was failing until a sleep specialist told him, "You are cognitively impaired. Your reaction time and memory and judgment are that of someone 15 years older. You are not working hard, you're working stupid." And Derek refused to believe it, but tried 2 weeks of 8 hours. Felt guilty the first few days like he was cheating. Then by day 5 had an insight that saved a deal. By day 10, his team stopped flinching when he entered. By day 14 realized his grind had been a coping mechanism for his own incompetence. He wasn't exhausted from working hard. He was working hard because he was exhausted. And his productivity doubled when he slept. And he still works long hours but never sacrifices sleep, and the company finally turned profitable. The American cognitive paradox sits right here. We sacrifice sleep for productivity, but sleep is productivity's best friend. We treat rest as a reward, but rest is what makes hard work possible. And the only escape is to understand that sleep is not a luxury, it's a weapon. The most competitive edge in a sleep-deprived world is to be the one who actually sleeps. Right now, your brain might want to argue you don't have time, but ask yourself how many hours this week you spent scrolling and watching and worrying and doing things that didn't matter. Hours you could trade for sleep. So if something in you just exhaled, if the impulse sparked to send this to the person who answers emails at 2 in the morning, that's not about me, it's the recognition that exhaustion is not a badge but a warning light, and sharing that might be the first strategic move you've made in months. The question from the beginning, why do we brag about little sleep when it destroys everything, has an answer that a second viewing fully reveals. You were tricked. The culture told you sleep was wasted time. But sleep is when you become the person who can actually do the things you're too tired to do. Now go to bed earlier tonight. That's an order.